Hello, it's Nikki with My Healthy Beginning, and today I am here with some tried and true dairy-free substitutions. So we have run the gamut in my family of everything from store-bought dairy to raw dairy to somewhere in the middle where everybody can tolerate the majority of what is in our house. At my house, that looks like we've got goat cheeses and sheep cheeses. We have goat yogurt. Nobody can drink milk anymore at my house, so we have a variety of nut milks. Almond milk is everyone's favorite, and but it's a subject that comes up a lot. Like out there in the world, you could be standing in line, at the grocery store. You could be at the soccer field. You could be anywhere, and conversations come up around dairy and having dairy-free options that are great for the whole family. So let me go over a few of these with you, okay? So dairy intolerance can be sometimes supported with enzymes, but mostly we want to get to the root cause. Always we're looking at why. Why can't you tolerate a certain item or certain food, or why does your body respond the way it does to any particular what it's occurring to as a stressor on the body? So we look for options that can get us through in the meantime to where we want to be long term. Some people can tolerate, like I said earlier, dairy in the form of sheep or goat. So you've got like a molecular makeup that is similar enough yet different enough for some that will really make the difference. So I do fine if I bump into dairy every once in a while, but I do best if I'm maintaining on a sheep cheese, if that's something I'm putting in a few times a week. If I go too heavy on the goat, then I start experiencing symptoms. So knowing your body and what you can get away with and what you need to avoid and why is very important. So if people can tolerate goat and sheep cheese, the two things that we start to do is one, just start to decrease the amount of dairy they're consuming overall. So you can look at it like if we eat 3 meals a day, 7 days a week, and we have dairy in some form every time, that's 21 times a week that your system may be overwhelmed with a dairy product. Here's what I will see too. A lot of people can tolerate butter just fine, like a good Kerrygold or the Grazier's butter. But some have to go to like a ghee and some have to just not have it at all, in which case they're using like a coconut butter or coconut oil, things like that. But overall, start to decrease the amount of dairy that's being consumed and then start using something different, goat, sheep. If you want to avoid that altogether, then you can just move to more of these vegan versions that are out there now. We have some really, really great options that we haven't had in years past. So I'll share with you my two all-time favorite dairy-free substitutions and why. So full-fat coconut milk. I use this almost daily. I make yogurt out of it. I add it to soups. I add it to smoothies. I add it to hot chocolate. I stir it into tea. I'm always looking for how to get really clean, healthy fats, and I love the subtle taste of a full-fat coconut milk. We use it to make ice cream. It's important. You need to have your ice cream. And then cashews. So with cashews, I make cashew cream. I will soak them and pulverize them and, can make a mean wild rice soup that's creamy and thick and nobody knows anything is missing, which is, you're doing it right if people ask you for the recipe every time you serve whatever you're serving. So those are kind of my two all-time favorites, and I don't go a day without having either of those things, either a bag of cashews or full-fat coconut milk in the pantry, on the shelf, and ready to go. There are now brands. I mean, if I think back to, 15, 16 years ago, when with the kids, we started to navigate more dairy issues. I go back, almost 20 years in navigating the world of dairy and dairy-free and needing to monitor and make more moderate my intake. And in some cases, it's full elimination for long periods of time. So cow dairy next to never anymore. And you need to find things to, help kind of connect the dots for social functions, for a meal that everybody in your house can eat together. So you're not a sous chef, right? I'm not a big fan of people being a sous chef. So there are brands out there that I initially started myself, which were more soy-based. And at the time, it's just what I did. And I didn't know that soy is not really where I wanted to spend my time. Now I know avoiding soy would be the best thing for my health. So I avoid it altogether. That brand was Tofutti. They had some pretty like they made a good sour cream. I remember that was the easiest and best thing for me to utilize at that time. But I'm going to list off some brands here that are really easy for you to find. You can Google them. I know a lot of us are great with like brand recognition. Maybe we can't remember the name, but we sure can remember what the container or marketing package looks like. The Miyoko's brand, they make really great cream cheese. I do think they make a shredded cheese. I think they make like a vegan style spread if that's something that you need to put in temporarily. VioLife makes a Parmesan based cheese. That Chao brand makes a sliced cheese. And some of these companies may make more. I'm just going off of the things that I know that I've seen in a Whole Foods or a natural foods co-op in our area. The Daiya brand, let me tell you about that brand. So I look at a shredded non-dairy cheese and think that's never going to taste good. And it probably shouldn't because it's a substitute. Maybe some things we just shouldn't substitute out. But Daya's shredded dairy-free, like say mozzarella style cheese, far, far better than it was even 5 years ago, but worlds beyond what we had options for, 10, 15 years ago. Good Planet is another option. Follow Your Heart is a good option. They make like a sliced cheese. It just looks like a single. The Siete brand, some queso. Mother Raw makes, I believe they make a queso. Good Foods makes a fantastic queso. It's a cashew red bell pepper, I believe. I mean, we just put that on everything at our house. There's a brand at Aldi, and I think it's called Earth Fare, and they make like a shredded mozzarella style cheese. I tried with my daughter, and I was surprised. We were able to pull off a great cauliflower crust pizza, and nobody knew the difference. So those are just a few. Now, if you're looking for something like chocolate, my two favorite go-tos for dairy-free chocolate would be if you're baking and you're wanting to do like chocolate chip cookies or something like that, the VioLife brand. So they're soy-free, gluten-free, dairy-free, nut-free, free of all the top 8 allergens. So that's a really great way to go. They do have evaporated cane sugar, but they come in chunks. They come in teeny tiny little itty bitty chocolate chips, and those are delicious. And then in terms of chocolate bars, Hu is absolutely my favorite. It's HU, the Hu brand of chocolate. If you must know, cashew butter, the one with cashew butter in the middle. And they have maybe 4 or 5 ingredients only, are dairy-free, and contain coconut sugar instead of evaporating cane sugar. So that's a huge, huge bonus for me. If you are still in the world of the macaroni and cheese, and you're graduating from or looking to graduate from a Kraft mac and cheese, Annie's Mac will probably be your best bet. They do now have both a gluten-free version, but a gluten-free, a dairy-free. I think they're calling it vegan at the time. So if you're not making your own, those can be a quick go-to. And I do believe there are other brands. I'm just not familiar with what they are. It's not something that I purchase. If queso is your style, the Siete brand, like I mentioned before, the Good Foods brand, like I mentioned before, and for making it yourself, it's fast and delicious. Danielle Walker, if you look up Danielle Walker queso, it's a fantastic homemade queso, chicken broth, sweet potatoes, some tapioca starch, maybe it's arrowroot starch, I can't remember which, I think some carrots. You wouldn't believe that those ingredients can make a fantastic queso. It'll blow your mind. So I double the batch. We will have nachos for days. I serve it over pasta. I mean, any possible thing. Stir it into rice, make bean rice burritos. It's really, really good. So I really recommend it. It's an Instant Pot recipe. It goes really quickly. I don't know, maybe it takes me 10 minutes to prep it, and I walk away and it's cooking in the Instant Pot. So lots and lots of choices in regards to dairy-free. So it's kind of knowing what you're looking for, why you're looking for it. And, for example, brands like Kite Hill, they are dairy-free, but they are almond-based. So if you can't do nuts, then you need to look further, because a lot of the dairy-free soft cheeses, if you will, are very nut-based. So read your labels. That's really the best thing I can tell you there, is to read your labels on that. So because of what we do at our office, we do nutrition response testing. We will know if any or all of the above foods are a problem for you. We will know that because they will be testing, and then we would handle them accordingly. So if you're looking to hone in on answers to your health and inquiries to potential food intolerances, which is a big conversation, get on the phone and grab a discovery call. I will get on with you and see how it is that we can best support you to gaining optimal health that you deserve. You can find us at myhealthybeginning.com or give us a call 612 418 3801. Thanks for joining us.